Hello folks, it's Daniel here from Shoot, Create, Captivate. In today's video, I wanted to really get into some of the advancements that Adobe have made to the Lightroom masking tools, okay? Now, this is my second video on this subject because Adobe have really stepped up to the mark and improved these tools in a short space of 3 months. If I recall, about 3 months ago, I was talking about this particular subject on my channel. Now, here we are 3 months later, and Adobe have released even more updates to the masking features, and this is what we're going to look at today. Before I go into those tools, the image that we've got up on our screen here has been shot in natural light. That's right, there is no reflectors over here, there's no strobes whatsoever. I found the spot in my forest which gives me absolutely awesome light, and in this case bi-directional soft natural light. And yes, this is actually shot on a completely cloudless day, folks. That's right, completely cloudless day. Let me just press I on the keyboard here. Hold up. This was shot at 16:31 on the 18th of the 10th, so this is a few days ago. And like I said, it's shot in natural light on a completely sunny day. But this was shot at 16:31, which puts us about 2 hours before sundown here in the Czech Republic. And at this time of the year, the sun is at a nice low profile in the sky, and the light has this beautiful diffused look to it, even though it's fully bright, okay? You can see by the catch lights in the eyes over here that we had this lovely flow of good soft light coming in from behind me at an elevated position. This is why those catch lights on the upper portion of the eyes. But what really got me about this particular location was the bidirectional light. And what do I mean by bidirectional light? I mean this light coming in from behind the subjects. There was this little flicker of light coming through a gap in the forest behind them that created this opportunity for absolutely gorgeous bidirectional light. And that bidirectional light gave me the ability to have this beautiful natural room light around my subjects. Again, you know, I can show you guys here, there is no edits to this. I mean, I could literally pump this out to my client right now as a proof gallery without touching a darn thing, okay? This is the power of natural light. And this is actually something, by the way, that I do cover in my courses, okay? So if you guys are eager to learn about these light patterns and what to look out for, you know, today I'm giving you this open invitation to join my membership. It is in the links in the description below. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here to look at the advancements inside of Lightroom in terms of the masking tools, okay? So, like before, we've got the little round circle over here. It says masking, or you can simply press Shift+W. I'm just going to click once over here. Now, you'll notice the very first thing is the interface has changed a little bit, okay? Now, if you guys remember, way back in the tutorial 3 months ago, I had this image of a boy on his bicycle up on my screen, and I showed you guys how I made an instant subject selection using the subject select tool. Let's do it right here. Okay, so I clicked that once, and I had my subject selected from my background, and what I wanted to do back then was work on my background. So what I needed to do was go into where it says subject 1, click the 3 little dots, and then make an invert of that, and then my background would be selected. Now, at the time, I did find it a little bit cumbersome, and I was like hoping that maybe there would be an instant background selector. And what we did is a whole bunch of us in the community gave Adobe some feedback with regards to this. And lo and behold, let's just get rid of this quickly. Adobe actually added that in for us. Let's go right back to the beginning. I'll delete that mask completely. And now we've got a little box that says background. And now all we need to do is click once, and we've got a background selected, okay? There's no fuss about making a subject selection and then inverting that selection and going all through the blah, 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 blah. Now we've got a background selected instantly for us, okay? And now again, I've got all of the options over here to edit my background. You know, I could pull back the exposure over here to get my subjects popping out from the background. And you can see how my subjects actually naturally pop from this background because of the light patterns that I'm shooting in. And these are the light patterns that I absolutely enjoy. I'm nuts about it. I'm nuts about natural light, okay? I used to be one of those guys who shot everything with strobes outdoors, but when I found this particular magic, wow, man, I was hooked. Right, any case, let's go on and look at some of the other features that they've added in. Okay, I'm going to go right back to the beginning here, because we already know about subject, we already know about automatically selecting the sky, but Adobe have added in the background selector. Something else that they kind of sneakily put in here, which I didn't actually notice until 2 days ago, in fact, was the objects option right here. Let's actually click that and see what happens. I'm going to click it once right there, and now you'll be presented by another little option over here. One is called, it's the mode selector over here. One is a brush and one is a rectangle, okay? And this is an object select. Let's test this out. Let's see what it does. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom into the boy's jumper over here. Let me just press Z on the keyboard. Now, what I want to do is, you see that we've got this little circular brush tool here. All I'm going to do now is just resize that brush, okay? Like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply paint around this upper green portion of his jumper like this, okay? And I'll let go and boom, look at that. This portion is automatically selected as if it's an object, okay? Now, what's really cool about this is that I can come in here and make a hue shift to this top portion of his jumper, which is kind of a greeny, cyan-y kind of color. All I need to do now is change the hue of those colors. Look at that. I'm making a selection of this upper portion of his jumper and changing its color. As simple as that. Check that out. Now, right on the edge over here, you see that it overlapped into that little area there. What's great over here is that we can go back and click on subtract, go back to object, and just paint over that little area there, and Lightroom will remove that part of that selection right there. It's as easy as that. Look at that. We've made a selection of the upper portion of his jumper, and we've literally just changed the color. Okay? Shifted the hues over there to a color that we wanted. Okay? I can take this a step further. I can go back to create new mask, and I can create another new mask again, and then do the same thing. Go back to object. Okay? And now what we'll do is we'll select that little area there, and we'll follow along this little green part of his jumper. Okay, and we'll join it there, and I'll let go, and there we go. We've got a selection of that portion of his jumper. Now you see that this portion hasn't been selected. All we need to do now is click on add, go back to objects, and then just add in that little edge, that edge over there. That's the same green as this green over here. Let's go and make another color adjustment. What I'm going to do is shift my hues right over here and make it another brown color. Look at that. Okay. I'm going to press space bar over here, and I'm going to just shift my image up over here. I'm going to create another new mask. It's as simple as that, right? Go back to objects, and I want to select this portion of his jumper and change this from this greenish color to maybe a more of a beige color. Okay. Watch this. Simply draw around that color, and Lightroom sees that as an object. There we go. We've got that selected right there. I can change the hue of this area too. I can make it like a creamy beige color. Look at that. Okay. Now, when we look at the overall color of this image, what I've done effectively here is I've changed the color harmony of my image. I'm actually getting colors that we've got in our scene sort of blended in with our subject. Okay. Now I've got my subject tied into colors that we've got in the background. Now, I talk about color theory at length in the tutorials, but I just wanted to give you guys an overall view of what I'm trying to do with my colors. I can see that I've got these little brown colors over here. We've got these different hues of browns everywhere, and I wanted to change the colors of our young boy over here, or his jumper rather, to give us a better color harmony. I mean, sister over here has got brown tonalities, got cream tonalities there, okay? And all I'm doing now is changing the tonalities of what he's wearing. Let's just click on the image next to him, okay? Can you see, this is nice. The greens work well. If he was on his own, I wouldn't touch that, okay? This looks great as it is, okay? But when we look at the color harmony overall between these three subjects, he's kind of the odd one out, okay? Yet, going over to this image over here where I did those object selections and I changed those colors. Look how better the colors play together now, okay? All of the colors that they're wearing now all form a harmony of colors, okay? Now, we can go in further over here with the object selections, and I'll just zoom in to the image right here, okay? Let's pop in over here. And what we're going to do is make another object selection. Watch this one. I'm going to take this even further, okay? Go to objects, and I'm going to draw around little girl's dress, like so, okay? In over there. Okay, we're not quite done yet. I'm going to go in and create another add layer. So we'll go to add, then we'll go to objects, and then I'm going to continue in this lower portion over here, like so, like so. And I'll make a selection of the bottom half of the dress like that. Okay, now let's step things up a little bit here. We're going to make another subchat of this little area over here. Okay, there we go. That's fine. And we'll go to this upper layer where it says mask 4, okay? And what we're going to do is click on the 3 little dots here, and then I'm going to make an intersect mask with a color range. Watch this. I'm going to click on color range here, and I'm going to select these little blue areas of her dress here, okay? Or maybe those areas right there. And what we've done is we've effectively selected the little leaves of her dress here. Now, what I want to do now is come in here and make a little adjustment to the colors there. Look at that. Look at that, folks. I'm making those a more of a brown color. Now you can see that we have overlapped into these color areas of the dress here. So all I want to do is refine that adjustment like that, okay? Bring it back a little bit so we're not overlapping into the other colors of the pinks of her dress. But look what we've done here. We've effectively changed the little bluish cyan color leaves. We haven't got them all over here. You know, I can come in and make some finer adjustment to these little areas here. But what I've effectively done using an intersect layer with a color range attached to it, we've been able to make fine-tuned adjustments to those little blue cyan color of those leaves like that, okay? Now let's click out of our masking tools and look at the image further here. And we're now creating even more color harmony. And I can continue doing this all day until I've got all of my colors harmonizing beautifully together. But the fun doesn't stop there. Let's go back to our masking tools. What we're going to do is we're going to click on create. And, you know, we're obviously seeing that we've got a sky select, a background select, and now we've got select people. Let's check that out because this is really, really cool. Okay, I'm going to click select people, and what's happened is here Lightroom is detecting all of my subjects in this frame. Very, very simple. Okay, so we've got person 1, person 2, and person 3. Now when I look at these 3 little nippers, it looks like the boy's face is slightly less exposed. Okay, but I think in this case over here he's just got a slightly darker skin tone than his sisters. Now what I can do in this case is click on the little thumbnail where I see his face, click it once, and what's going to happen here is Lightroom is going to open up another selection dialog over here, and you'll see that it's got entire person selected. What we're going to do is uncheck that, and now what we'll do is we'll scroll through all of these options. First of all, we've got face skin, body skin, eyebrows, eye sclera, that's the whites of the eyes. You'll see it actually turns red in our image over here. We've got iris and pupils, we've got lips, we've got teeth, and we've got hair. So we can go in and individually select those components of our subject and make adjustments. So what I'm going to do in this case here is do face and body skin. So I'm going to select those 2 elements here, and I've got it checked to create 2 separate masks, okay? Because obviously if I make an adjustment globally of his skin, it might not work on their hands. So I always want to just keep those 2 out of each other's way, okay? So I'm going to go create mask, and watch what's going to happen here. I'm just going to go over to exposure, and I'm just going to brighten up his face like that, okay? I'm going to go into the other option over here. Let's just click again, and I'm going to select this mask 6 over here, which is his body skin tonalities. Okay, and I'm going to adjust the brightness over there. Check that out. Okay, that is just absolutely brilliant. Let me go back to the mask 5 option over here. I think I'm added in a little bit too much brightness there. I just want to back it off a little bit. But there we go, folks. We've got the power to actually individually select our subjects. This wasn't possible before. And we also didn't have all of those other options in terms of, making a selection of the face, making a selection of just the skin, and all the other components to the image. Let's go and create a new mask again. Go select people. What I'm going to do is go to person 3 here again, which is this young lad over here. And what I want to do is I want to just zoom into his face quickly. Let's just come into this area here. What I want to do is go over to the eye sclera, okay, and the iris and pupil, for example, and create a mask. Okay, so we've got mask 7 and 8. Now what we can do here is brighten up the eyes a little bit, and I'm going to really judge that brightness by looking at the sister's eye illumination in this little white area here. Okay, that's the eye white, so I call it the eye white. I don't know why on earth they've called it this over here. Not everybody knows these technical names. That includes me. Now we can go to iris and pupil, which everybody knows, and I can increase the brightness of his eyes a little bit there. And I think that looks pretty realistic. Okay, so check that out. Let's zoom out of our subjects here again, and look what's happening, folks. Let me just get out of our mask mode over here, and look at the color harmony that we've created. Look at the balance of the exposure on the faces that we've created here, just inside of Lightroom. Okay, we haven't even gone into any of the technicalities, and we haven't gone into anything that Photoshop can do for us. Okay, we've done all of this part of the edit right here inside of Lightroom. Now, when I look at the jumper, it's not completely perfect, but this is a good starting point, to be honest. Okay, you can do the same process inside of Lightroom via the Camera Raw plugin. Okay, so if you don't wish to do this step right here inside of Lightroom, you can always go in or take this particular image into Photoshop and make some of those adjustments as needed by using the same process here, but through the Camera Raw filter plugin. Okay, you're going to have the same options there. The same masking options are going to be there. But, there we go. We've got all of these options at our disposal in terms of making particular masking options. If I go to create new, we can come back down here to people select, and then we can look at, for example, I can go into all people, for example, and what I could do is select everybody's teeth, and we'll make a global adjustment in terms of teeth. So we'll go in and create a mask, and you'll see that mask will include everybody's teeth over here. What I'm going to do in this case, I'm going to just desaturate the teeth just to get rid of any inherent yellows in the teeth, and then I'm going to brighten the teeth just a little bit. Okay, not a lot here. We don't want to make it look unrealistic, but maybe pump in about a plus 10, 15, maybe 20, just on the brightness of their teeth. Okay, getting this nice white teeth there with a lovely glow. And this, folks, is really a game changer in terms of editing portraits. It really is that intuitive. Okay, and I'm sure that they are going to bring in further adjustments or further options to make this process even easier. Okay, so there you have it, folks. These are some of those new features that we've got inside of Lightroom that's going to make our lives so much easier as portrait artists. I mean, let's take another example. Let's say that we kind of slightly overexposed our background. Now one can easily go and make a background select and then make the adjustments with the highlights. For example, I could pull down highlights over here, or I could pull down saturation as an example. Okay, I'm going to the extreme over here. Or for that fact, while I've got this mask over here, mask 10, I could easily go into the background and I can make a background intersect. So I can go intersect mask with, say, for example, a linear gradient. And I could pull down a linear gradient behind my subjects over here, and I can make specific adjustments to those. You know, I could brighten them up, could reduce the exposure. I can do a barrage of different things here. You know, I could even come in and drag out textures, okay, like that. Or I could come in and I could dehaze my background, give it a little bit of haze in the background, or dehaze it completely. So there's a lot of power here, folks, okay? Now, what's great is, let me just delete this little adjustment that I made here, because I'm quite happy with my background. I'm just going to turn off my masking tools here and just make some regular changes to my image here. Maybe just pop up the exposure a little bit. I'm going to pull down my highlights a little bit over here, and then maybe pop up my shadows just a tiny little bit here. Pop up my whites for a little bit more zing, and then come in with the overall texture quality of my image by bringing this down to about -10. I've even pushed it up to -15 at times. Let's push it out to -15, and then I could come in and make a small minor crop to this image, like so. I could maybe even just correct for this little downhill slope that we've got in this image, and there we go. I mean, this image could almost be ready for proofing. Now, what's great about this process here is the fact that I can click on this image right here, and then click once to the image next door to it and go previous. Watch what happens now. Your edits were pasted, but updating AI settings may take some time. This is going to be completely dependent on how powerful your computer is. But look at that. It created a copy of those adjustments that we made to the previous image onto the next one. So we didn't have to go through all of that selection process again. Now, it's kind of made a little boober over here. What we need to do is go back into our masking tools, and then we can just figure out which one of those mask options we've got selected is going to take that little edge away there. Okay. Let's have a look at which of those masks. It might be here on mask 8. Mask 7. Let's go and have a look at where that is. I think this is one of those things that we may have to speak to Adobe about again, just to make sure that we can simplify this object identification process over here, because this is taking a little bit longer. Maybe it's on mask 2. Here we go. Maybe it's on this here. We can switch that off. There we go. It's on that mask layer there. Okay. So that took a little while there. I think these are some of the small little niggles that I've still got with the masking tools. But what's really great now is that I can transfer those adjustments to these other images in the range, and it does a pretty solid job. We created 101 masks over here, and it's really worked out for us. We were able to harmonize the colors in our image, and all of that within inside of Lightroom without exiting yet, or without sending our image to Photoshop just yet, where I would, for example, do a lot of the fine-tuning of the masks over here and doing all of the other magic. So folks, there you have it. These are the new masking tools inside of Lightroom, and I'm really looking forward to keeping you guys up to date with the developments on these types of features, because I can tell you now, this is going to help us in lots of situations. Okay. So folks, there you have it. This is an overview rather of the adjustment tools or masking tools inside of Lightroom that have been updated. Folks, I just wanted to say thank you very much for all of your awesome support and all of the immense kind words that you guys give on my work out there. It's really appreciated, and I want to just put my heart and soul into creating these videos for you guys and help you see things in a different light, so to speak. And I want you guys to improve your portraits and really have happy clients out there that will come back to you time and time again. Folks, again, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next session. Cheers for now.